Murders disrupt the fabric of small communities. Gateway, Arkansas was one such community. This 2017 murder of the ever-genial James Lee Appleton sent shockwaves through the town. Imagine their horror at discovering that the local police officer was responsible. So now, if you're curious to know all the details about its spiraling aftermath, we've got you covered. On February 23, 2017, James, 59, was out and about working. He sat in his pickup casually speaking with his sister's spouse. Suddenly, James' brother-in-law heard an unusual sound of a gunshot. The phone line went dead. Sharon and her husband went to the police station, terrified and stunned. They were right to be concerned. A car had pulled alongside James and both men exchanged greetings. Suddenly, the man in the other vehicle fired a single shot at James and sped away. When stunned bystanders came to the gunfire, James was already dead. He was fatally shot in the face. One gunshot was enough to end a life of love, commitments, and relationships, leaving his loved ones in terrible grief. It wasn't difficult to track down the perpetrator. A passerby recognized the car in a town of 400 people and 5 businesses at most. It belonged to Grant Hardin. Grant Hardin was no ordinary civilian. He was a former head of police with a fantastic track record. Before retirement, he held critical roles in the Arkansas Police Department. He was a Benton County constable, a police officer in Fayetteville, Huntsville, and Eureka Springs, and the former police chief of Gateway. Members of the community trusted him and felt safe in his presence. This was a horrible violation of the integrity of the police institution. On October 16, 2017, the police were forced to arrest the 48-year-old. This was a fact they could no longer deny. Grant Hardin was a dangerous individual. Grant, too, was quick-witted and cold-hearted enough to plead guilty to the murder. However, he never revealed his motives. James' family has no idea why their adored sibling was murdered. They knew he had crossed paths during Grant's time as the former cop, but James was not malicious. He was everyone's best friend. James's family is still unclear as to why this happened. Several Appleton's family members were in court when Hardin made his guilty plea. The court asked Hardin multiple times if he had anything to say to Appleton's family. Hardin said, "I don't know how to say it, but I'm sorry." However, a more devastating truth regarding Grant's past was about to be revealed. This was not his only crime. When Grant was arrested, the procedure required that his DNA sample be entered into the database. Nobody expected what would happen next. Almost immediately, there was a ping. The database notified Grant that his DNA sample matched Amy Harrison's cold rape case. Amy was a teacher at Frank Tillery Elementary in 1997, and the perpetrator was eventually identified after 2 decades. Amy's rape had frightened everyone at the moment. Grant raped Amy when she was preparing a lesson for the week, and a church service was taking place in the cafeteria on Sunday. It was a heinous, heartless, and terrible crime. Some of the semen had rubbed off on Amy's pants and was eventually entered into the database as a result of the altercation. For more than 2 decades, the case had gone unresolved. The discovery of Grant's criminal history shook the community to its core. During his interrogation, Hardin gets questioned about his law enforcement background and replies honestly. Hardin's voice becomes monotone after being granted Miranda rights. When asked to recall the events of his day, he refuses, claiming that they have read his rights and that he is sick from being there.
But somebody said that you used to be a police officer in Gateway or something like that? Okay.
Like a constable. And
you were a constable here too? For Benton County?
Yeah.
For Benton County, okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. How long did you do that?
2 years. Well, I was elected one term, 2 different terms, but no.
Okay. Through when you woke up this morning to when you got stopped by the police out there in what's the name of that road that you were on? I'm sorry, I'm going to drop. Gann Ridge?
I'm not going to say anything after I've been read those rights yet.
Okay. Why don't you want to talk to me about your day?
I don't know what's going on. I am kind of sickly to what I'm here for and things.
Okay. So you don't want to explain what you've done today? Did you? Is there a reason behind that?
You read me my rights, and I don't know why.
Hang tight right here for just a few minutes, okay?
The detectives leave the room for several minutes to debate their plan of action, which is also a psychological tactic because it gives the suspect time to worry about what is happening and what information they may have. He'll trip himself up if they're lucky when answering their inquiries. When Detective Chamberlain enters the room, he explains that he can't tell him why he's being questioned and repeatedly tries to get him to relax.
Okay, I talked to my boss. I think I was confused, or I may have confused you on what's going on here. I can't tell you exactly why you're here. And you being a police officer, you understand that.
Hardin's resistance to answering questions remains unwavering. As a former officer, he must realize that refusing to go along simply makes him appear more suspect. He has also not requested a lawyer, making the cop's job harder. Hardin continues to resist despite many attempts to persuade him to change his mind and make a statement. He requests permission to go, but is informed that he is a potential suspect. Still acting ignorant, he inquires as to why he is a suspect. This is where the detective appears to be skirting the rules by arguing that Hardin has to prove why he is not a suspect.
Well, am I free to go then?
No, you're not free to go.
Why?
Because I've got to get to the bottom of an investigation, a very serious criminal matter.
Okay.
Okay? And right now you're a potential suspect in that. Does that make sense?
I don't understand why I'm a suspect, no.
Well, that's for me to know and for you to tell me why you're not a suspect.
Hardin checks the doors and shouts for an officer outside while he is alone in the room. Even though he knows he cannot leave, he tells the officer that he must prepare for work.
Hello?
Sir. What's up?
I was looking for a detective.
You want me to get him for you?
Well, I'm ready. I need to go
You need to go where?
home or get ready for work in a little bit.
Okay, we'll just have a seat and I'll get him for you.
Okay.
Okay?
Given the situation, this can appear like a strange behavior. However, it allows him to ask someone new for information, still requesting questions. The detective claims to be aware of all that has occurred and to have evidence. Hardin didn't give up. He apologizes multiple times, but refuses to discuss his day or the motives for his crime. Detective Chamberlain utilizes what can be viewed as a leading strategy to get people up to speed by implying that everything might have been an accident and might be explained. They both know that this is untrue. While it may have worked on a person without police experience, Hardin understands that his only chance, however, is to remain silent.
I'm trying to think of how to word this delicately. I'm not trying to get you in any trouble. I'm not trying to get her in any trouble. Okay? You've got a little daughter, she's 16, who needs her parents. Okay? Mm-hmm. I know what was said at dinner time. I know everything. Okay? I need your side of the story. Okay? I don't know if you've had a problem with this guy for a while, and this was an accident, or you maliciously chased him down, or what happened. But if I don't get your side of the story, I won't ever know. Okay?
Hardin begins to make genuine moves during his conversation with Detective Cordero. He talks about organizing his wife's meds for the week and tells a story about how a drunk driver hit her. Cordero takes advantage of this by not cutting him off. Cordero's efforts are beginning to bear fruit, as she has now persuaded him to admit to going outside, a step ahead of his previous claim of doing nothing but watching television. He tells her that he went out to feed the chickens and spread grass, consistent with his wife's statement. Hardin becomes a little more intrusive when asked what time he had dinner. He understands that disclosing too many facts about a period surrounding the murder is a terrible idea.
Yeah, sleep's all
So
messed up.
you could, oh, absolutely. It doesn't matter if you switch to the day shift schedule. Your sleep's still going to be messed up for a while. I still fight it every once in a while. Did you sleep in today? Yeah, I bet you did. You could have got to work tonight, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. What time did you get up?
Oh boy. I don't even know. Probably around noonish.
Around noon. That's usually what time I got up too. I'd sleep in as long as I could.
So he tells her that he can't recall anything. She changes her inquiry and asks if he noticed anything out of the ordinary while he was outside. He detects a trap, but is unsure if any witnesses may have spotted him while working in the garden or leaving his house. He resolves to remain silent once more. Cordero has agreed to hear what he has to say and has even offered a lifeline by adding that we all make mistakes. Hardin doesn't even appear to be contemplating those possibilities, though. Cordero's last-ditch attempt to get a response from him by invoking his family comes out as nearly desperate. Hardin is aware that he will likely never see his daughter again, even if he provides the answers in her inquiries. Hardin states that he will remain silent. The only difference is that he is now seeking a lawyer since he cannot go any further without entirely using his rights. Detective informs him she can no longer speak to him and ends the interrogation. Even though the evidence was unquestionably conclusive, Grant ultimately entered a guilty plea for rape in 2019. He once more displayed the stubbornness that prevented him from admitting the crime's cause. He was sentenced to 25 years in prison on each of the rape counts, bringing his total sentence to 30 years in prison plus an additional 50 years. That's all for today's video. Hope you guys liked this video. See you in the next one.